Well, hello, welcome back everyone again. Another Martin Toss stream. How's everyone doing? Bruce Lee, Commander Big Mike, welcome to the stream. Doppler, Mike Boy as well. A small crowd already forming up. Everyone's excited about Macintosh stuff, right? What we're here for. I don't know. I like all retro platforms, so I'm not going to call allegiances or anything like that. But it is an interesting machine we're streaming with tonight. But how's everyone doing? Everyone had a good retro week so far? A retro week since we last saw. We're playing Hexen Revenant. I actually ended up buying the remaster version on Steam for the Heretic and Hexen thing, and boy, that was a lot smoother to play. They fixed a lot of the rough edges, as it were, much easier to play. That made it a much smoother experience in general, especially playing on the Steam Deck was really nice. So that is true. There's that part. I honestly end up playing mostly on my Steam Deck when I have the time because it's such a nice pick up and play situation, right? So, and yeah, I do enjoy the Doom and Doom 2 remaster on there. Night Dive just does great work, really. So that's what I end up doing too. I either do passive retro or I play a game like that on the Steam Deck or something. It's not often I sit down and work with a machine, although I did sit down and reload the Power PC we streamed with, let's see, 2 weeks ago. To an older OS version based on recommendations people are saying. So I might stream with that again at some point. We'll see. We're getting out of Macintosh here now, so maybe it's forbidden to do Macintosh streams. But anyway, we have a interesting machine tonight, and I will probably not do it justice because, again, I'm not a Mac person on that level or a retro Mac person, but it is a fascinating machine nonetheless. We'll go to the Windows here. So we're on new Mac OS X. Now, is it officially Mac OS? It's Mac OS X right now, Mac OS 10. Sorry, I'm going to be grilled here now in the comments because I said that. But anyway, we're running on, basically was one of the last, if not the last, Power Macintosh G4 versions, which is called, this is the FW800 or the Firewire model. And that is the one that has like the mirror sheen face that you saw real quick on the weight screen a minute ago. But this is basically, from what I understand, the last, especially dual processor G4 that Apple produced. So this is a 1.4 gigahertz dual processor machine. We'll go into the profile here so we can see a little bit of info about the machine. But yeah, this is a PowerMac G4. And it's got the dual 1.42 gigahertz. So it's not to know it on dual gigahertz or the dual processor ones, right? It sounds really awesome. And like, wow, so much power. But if the game or application doesn't take advantage of dual processor, you don't really get a speed boost compared to a single higher clock processor. So there's that part. This machine was not primarily for gaming, obviously. And I mean, I might be generalizing, but I think a PC of the same caliber will probably outrun it, both between efficiency, single core clock speed, single processor clock speed, and just, you know, porting and stuff like that. Most games, it seems like they were made for Windows and then ported to the Mac for this era, because we're in the early 2000s at this point. So 2003 is when this machine came out. This one has been stacked up with 2 gig of memory. So it's, I don't know if that's maxed or not, but it's pretty darn high. And as far as like the video card, I think you can see, yeah, we have a Radeon 9800 Pro in here, which is kind of the god tier of these machines' video cards that you can get, basically. There probably is something faster, but 9800 Pro is one of the fastest you can get for this kind of slot and everything. So, hey, Kriva in Sweden, yeah. Welcome. Yeah, that's the thing. And it's fascinating. I always love when there's story behind these computers, because I never hunt for machines like this. I don't like, I'm going to find the best in slot, right? Because we all know the best in slot, best in, processor, whatever it is, they usually fetch a premium. And I saw it was a person locally who listed, he had 2 listings. One was for boxes of software and games, and one was for computers. And I wasn't, the stuff he had listed for software was like, whatever. But then he listed and he had like 6 computers, I think, or something like that. And I streamed with these machines before. You've seen them here covered. And there was, let's see if I can remember now. There was this machine. There was the G4 that we streamed it before, the 400 megahertz. There was a G3 tower, which I have since passed on. There was a Packard Bell. There was a compact, like a, the see-through plastic compact stuff, the kind of whatever. The Packard Bell I still have, and then there was one more I can't remember now, maybe. But all of that, he sold that in all a bundle. He was a collector who was moving, so he had to downsize. Like his wife said, I can't take the entire garage anymore. I have to take a part of the garage. So he was super excited for it to go to someone. So he gave me a fair price and everything, and he watched a few of the streams, I think, too, when we streamed with those machines when I got them. So that's where this came from. He had worked really hard to deck this out. Now, the 9800 Pro I found. This had a Radeon 9000 in it, which is now sitting in the G4 400, which boosted that one considerably. But in this case here, the 9800 Pro I found for I would probably say steal at VCF Midwest a few years ago before we moved to a new venue. Pretty late in the day, a gentleman brought in some Mac stuff, and he had a stack of like random Mac cards, including I was flipping through. There was a 9800 Pro in there, which I know is one of the best in slot cards for this machine. So snagged that, and that's been my long-term goal, is to put this machine together with this video card so that you have this maximum performance or whatever that you can have. And here we are. And I finally did it, and finally going to stream with it. So I put this together a few months ago, if not more now, with the intent of doing content and streaming on it. So content to come, hopefully. But we're going to stream on it today to see what it can do. Because I'm fascinated. As primarily a PC gamer from this era, I have installed a whole bunch of games, or I also have a box or a stack of games here that are Mac compatible. Ooh. Among other things. So it is not Revenant. That is a specific different pinout. Someone correct me here now. I believe there's a pinout difference on the Mac cards plus then firmware. So you can't just hot swap them back and forth. So if you take a PC version card, which many do because the PC cards are expensive, but they're more accessible than the Mac versions, you have to, I think, tape off a pin on the AGP on the card, and then you have to re-flash it with a certain firmware for it to even be detected by the Mac at all. You can't just take a PC card and slot it in. So that is why the Mac cards, to my understanding, are so desirable, because in this case here, I just dropped it in the machine, and I installed a driver's package that I don't think even is necessarily needed, but it was there, and it worked. So we can go into, let's see, I think I have, and I apologize, I am very novice when it comes to Mac usage in general, which I'm sure many of you are aware of already, but where did it drop the... That's right, I think it's under preferences, maybe? Yeah, there you go, ATI displays. Sulit? Hey, all right. So Macintosh is useful. I think that's the thing I've heard about the G5s, right? Is that they make fantastic like tables, and I have one too that I don't know the state of it in because of the kind of like things that protrude. You can put a board on it or whatever. Sulit. All right, there we go. Welcome. So there is some stuff you can actually configure with the 3D or whatever, but we're going to try and run it as this because I haven't played much on this machine. And if I'm going to generalize, if I understood, again, because games were on Windows and they were ported to the Mac, and that has to do then with, what's the quality of the port? What are you going to get out of it? And some are, I'm sure, are very good, and some are probably not as good. But that was the vast majority of games from this era, although it's fun to see how many games were ported to Mac for this era. So, and yeah, this machine, I believe, is called the Wind Tunnel, right? It's under the table right now, but it's still very, very loud. You can't hear it from here, fortunately, but if I do a video on this machine, I'll try and capture that because it's just loud. It's loud. Excuse me. A little stuffiness from all the allergies. It's springtime here in the Midwest, so everything's blooming. So I'm on all the antihistamines, but it only does so much. So anyway, they have some settings here that you recognize from your Windows and everything. But this, I think, the nice part with this card is that it's designed as a drop-in because it was sold aftermarket. I don't think, as someone correct me, I don't think the 1900 Pro was sold from Apple in any machine. You could get this one with a 9700 Pro, I think, but the 9800 Pro, I think, was only sold at retail. Again, correct me. So Yeah, I'm kind of on. I'm about to switch to Linux myself. I use Linux like Bazite or Steam PCs for my gaming in general. I'm gonna probably switch my regular desktop to Bazite as well. I'm just kind of sick of Windows right now. All right, I installed a whole bunch of games. Of course, this is on a network, so I do have my retro NAS. You may recognize me scrolling around here. With I put a whole bunch of games on here that I also have copied over here by a network, and we're at 100 megabit, right? So it's only so fast, but you may see this and excited. Apparently, there was an alpha port of Half-Life to PowerPC Max, but I was not able to get it to run. Maybe someone who's smarter than me knows how to do that, but I couldn't get it to work. So I can mount this and try it again, just maybe for the heck of it. But I couldn't get it to work. So that was not officially released at all on Apple hardware, but it was ported. So maybe I just need to copy this to and do a new folder. I'm going to guess I'm missing some library or something doesn't work, because every time I try and launch it, it just crashes immediately. So again, if someone's messed with this, let me know. But we'll see. Maybe you'll run now and I'll copy it locally. I'm already getting on a tangent because I was going to launch, a more well-known game or whatever, but I'm just curious as I saw it. But dragged a whole bunch of games. And yeah, I have a whole stack of other games here that I want to try as well. So we'll hop around a little bit and see what it can do. I'm also curious to try and push this machine a little bit. So I do have Doom 3 on deck because that feels like the most appropriate game from that era to push a card like this. So, and I say on Sulit, was I'm a sysadmin by trade as well, not in networking realm, but I found myself not being too, especially using something like Bazite, which is kind of like monolithic or immutable, right? You can't mess it up as much. I found it pretty smooth to jump over to, especially I'm messing with the Steam Deck and everything. So I think it's probably gonna, yep, it just crashes. So I don't know. I'm missing something. If anyone wants to look into that, I can't get it to run. I don't know that there's any like compatibility information or anything. This is made for PowerPC Max specifically, so unless this is made to run on OS 9 or something, but I don't know. Just crashes right away. So we will skip that for now. Maybe we'll revisit that. But instead, let's give Doom 3 a try and see if it runs. Are you sure you want to? Of course. Not scared. Oh, dang it. We have to. I think I have it here. Can I just mount it this way? Yeah. Will it run that way? I forget you gotta like exit software like that. You can just minimize it. Maybe not. May have to grab the patches of Doom 3, I guess, if it's a problem. Let's see. That's right. I thought I grabbed actually. Look. Apparently not. Might be some patch or something to make it work. And of course, it doesn't give you any information. It just doesn't run. So, but I think there might be a no DVD patch. So let's start with that. Version 1.3. So let's get that. And since we're networked, I can just copy stuff over back and forth. So that makes it pretty convenient. For those that are new here, I have most of my retro computers networked up. And that's the way I do it for that purpose. So I don't have to hop around. Just gonna drop a couple files and patches here. Hopefully we'll see if that's enough. All right, so now I can go back to my RetroNAS, go to Games, OS, and it should be a Doom 3 folder. There we go. And we have 2 additional files here. We'll copy over. This saves so much time, especially on a retro scenario. And I mean, this is a quote-unquote modern computer. It's over 20 years old, but it supports TCP/IP networking out of the box, so that makes things like that pretty simple as far as manipulating files and whatnot. First, we're gonna patch it. Continue. 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 Sure, I agree. PowerMac. Install. I guess it found it, I assume. We'll see. Okay, that's the patch. And then we have a no CD fix here. I don't know what that actually means or does. We'll try it. Ooh, cool. Whee! Like Doom 3 app. Yeah, I'm just so... Change permission, sure. Yep. No one look at my password, it's blank, so... All right, successful. Now let's try Doom 3. Does it run this time? Ooh! Hardcore. Let's see how this works or not. Unisicom Blues. See how audio is here now. I'm trying to not blow out the speakers here now. Probably have to mess with resolution as well, because it is all wonky. We're out of range on the... We have to have the key. Dang it. So close. I mean, I actually have a copy of Doom 3, I think, hardware, but let's see if I can figure this out. I probably need a crack or something. See if I can go through chat real quick here now. Hey, Drama Cat Place. What capture card I'm using is a... oh my goodness. Oh, I'm forgetting words now. I'm just getting a scatterbrain back and forth. This is a... Yeah. It's been so long, I forgot. I know the card, but... Oh, yeah, hang on, stand by. It's been so long since I streamed, I literally forgot, so... Look up the name again quick. Datapath, thank you. I don't know why I blanked on it. It's been so long a stream, but I have a Datapath card in here. Datapath Vision card. And that allows you to do kind of a direct frame buffer grab or whatever. I'm sure I'm using the wrong terminology, but it can get pixel to pixel like sharpness. And I'm using VGA here, although my 9800 Pro has DVI out. I'm using VGA just for the sake of my streaming setup here. I mostly capture older systems, so yeah, I was curious about Crimson Desert. I kind of want to let them patch it a little bit, and then maybe I'll go buy it. It looks exciting, interesting. I like those kind of open world 3D adventure games, so that might suck me in. I should have tried this game beforehand. I just need a... Do I have... I think I have Doom 3. Yeah. Kind of doubt the same key is going to work from a PC version, right? I think so. This is a 10.4. We can go to About here again. About this Mac, for anyone who wants to check it out. Any retro PC, welcome. I think this was, I installed this based on a recommendation of the Mac community at the time. I'm always open to suggestions or what should be changed, but... I'm curious. Let me try this code and see if it actually works. I kind of doubt it since this is the PC version, but worth a try. Yeah, I'll definitely have to mess with the graphic settings because right now my screen actually went dark. It's such a high resolution here. Sounds a little crazy, but... Ooh, I have too many windows. Let's see, what are we going to do? We're going to do... There, we'll do this little number so no one can see what I'm typing in. I don't want anyone to take my key. I think this is pretty silly, but still, we're doing it. Normally, I do all this prep work beforehand, but I haven't had much time to mess with it. Surely this won't work, right? It did in fact work. So that's cool. Let me change the settings here because it is not liking the resolution we're playing at. That's the wrong window. That's the wrong, where's the mouse? I don't have any mouse control. But we need otherwise. What's going on here now? Well, we went really high resolution, but I can't move the mouse at all. I don't know on this one, on the music on this game. Doppler, I have never done that. I think that might be a little hardcore even for me to do that. Well, can't move the mouse, so... See if I can launch it again and keep mouse control. I don't suppose there's any way in the configuration file or something to set the resolution because it's going way too high here. I mean, it's fine, I suppose, but I don't want it to go that high. Oh, come on. I already did this. For Pete's sake. Try one more time, I guess. At this point, I don't care. Avert your eyes. Steal my copy. Invalid. It took it the first time. I'm going to assume it doesn't work because it's a different version, but still, it was worth a try. Yeah, it gets here, and now it just, I must not like the key or whatever. That's a bummer. I can find... Exit out again. Maybe we'll switch to another game, but I kind of want to check out Doom 3 specifically, but... yeah, we'll poke around a little bit later, maybe. Probably, I own the game, just not the Mac version. I think that's the problem, and I get a feeling there's no direct crack for that. I own Doom 3 in multiple varieties, so... anyway, let's try an actual game so we can poke around, and maybe we'll revisit this so we can actually get some testing done here. First off, I'm going to eject these. Don't think that's a riot there. I did, of course, drop in Halo here, because you gotta have Halo. That run? You gonna run? There we go. You're gonna have to set stuff. Alright, I want max. Oh, we'll do 4. Extreme lens flares, please. That's the only way I run. But it doesn't let you set the resolution. Actually, did you know that Bungie was developing Halo for Mac? Sorry. It's the rightful place, right? And it's actually runs, though. I think I'm a tweaked resolution, whatever we end up here. Surely everyone's heard that whole story, right? But I remember seeing the previews for Halo, like the early beta images and everything before it came to PC, or before it came to Xbox and everything, and it looked so cool. The game morphed, of course. Although now it's Microsoft Game Studios, right? This feels illegal on a Mac, but definitely no problem playing this on a Mac. Let's take a look at the settings here. Video. Oh, it's our image here. It's all off. I can probably leave it at this. Let me tweak. Where's my mouse? It's probably have multiple screens here. And I think, I mean, someone correct me, but I'm pretty sure this version will be able to network and play with the PC version, right? Because, I mean, it's, from that perspective, it's, when you get to netcode and stuff, it doesn't matter, so. Okay, let's see. Now we can adjust. Okay, I think it pulled it in better there. Yep, no problem. Evening, Eric, the 7177. If I didn't say hi there earlier. So the way this is set up is... Sorry, I'm using the word a lot right now, but basically I have a KVM switch here that uses VGA that has also audio, so I can just plug everything into one. That connects from 4 different machines. So I have, at all times, a Pentium 1 machine, a Pentium 3, and then a P4, or F1, sorry, XP machine, and then the guest machine, which is this particular one this week. All that goes to that KVM switch, which then goes to a splitter, which that's VGA splitter goes both to my capture card, and it also goes to my flat panel I have here. I have a Dell Ultrashock flat panel that I'm playing on. And that's how I capture all of it. That goes then to my main PC in the capture card. It's a PCI Express capture card in my Windows PC sitting over to the side here, which I'm streaming from as well. So that's the whole, like, setup, if you will. So, yeah, this is, of course, playing on the real hardware. Whole point of the stream tonight. But it is captured on a modern, regular PC. That's probably good enough. All right. Let's see. I don't know what else has I played Halo. New game. New game of Halo. It's the that's like the parental leftovers meal there. Ooh, got some nice screen tear there. Oh, well, I'll mess with settings a little bit. I think VSync was on, but oh boy, I think we may have pushed the settings a little too high. And that's the thing too, is like you think that a 9800 Pro should be able to breeze through Halo not breeze through it, but power it through it at least. But it's about how the port is and how optimized it is. And this system is not a...
Did we lose them?
I think we both know the answer to
It was
that.
not meant as a gaming powerhouse. It's more of a side effect, right? There we go. The interior shot's a little better.
We made a blind jump. How did they...
Get here first? The Covenant ships have always been faster. As for
When,
traveling us all the way from
I think
Reach,
back
at
to playing this
Lightspeed,
the first
my maneuvering
time,
options were limited.
like, I thought it just looked so good,
We
so
were
cool.
running
And I
well,
played on,
yes.
on original
Until
Xbox
accelerated.
originally.
No one could have missed the whole tour in subspace.
But, I mean, it's
They
held
were
up
waiting for us on
alright,
the far side of the
but, you
planet.
know, text resolution, all that stuff is pretty far
So,
off now.
Where do we stand?
Our fighters are mopping up the last of their recon picket now, nothing serious. But I've isolated approach signatures for multiple CCS-class battle groups. Make it 3 capital ships per group. And in about 90 seconds, they'll be all over us.
Well, that's it then. Bring the ship back up to Combat Alert Alpha.
Everyone, sir?
Everyone. And Cortana,
Hmm?
let's give our old friends a warm
I've already
welcome.
begun.
Yeah, I'm going to change the settings. It is not,
Attention, all
not running
combat
well.
personnel. Please report to your action station.
Again, it's so hard to know what the problem could be. It could be that I configured something wrong, could be the drivers, or it just be the fact that, you know, it's only does so much that it can, so. Well, it depends on how you define does 1024, because it's doing it. Excuse me. There we are. Can I finally skip this?
Shows green. Cycle complete.
Maybe I should not have done the extreme lens flares. It suggested those settings too, so clearly, and again, this is where it could be. It could be that I misconfigured something or I don't have the right driver or something this card has been not being maxed out as much as it should, so. Can I change settings? I don't think can I change resolution here? Yeah, there we go. Video setup. Come on, you can do it. It won't even let me click. Ah. There we go. All right, let's see if we can turn down the settings. First 800 by 600. Oh my goodness, it is so choppy. We have VSync on. Medium texture quality. Medium particles. Low, I guess. All right, let's see what it can do now. Oh, where's the mouse going? That looks all right. Yeah, and there's that part too. You know, if it's not coded for dual CPU,
The disorientation
a little bit better, but nope, it's, something seems like.
We'll have you battle ready staff.
And then it gets super sluggish. There's something that it's not liking, transparency maybe or something.
I need to get a calibration reading for your battlesuit's diagnostics.
Yeah. Again, that's, I think that should be able to do better than what it's doing here, but I'm not sure entirely what.
Online, sir.
Let's we have the checkpoints, so let's go back and turn down some of the settings in the startup. And this thing, if it was never patched properly for that or to take advantage of it, you know, it might be a problem. So let's go back to some regular area. We had some pretty freaking high sampling here. Let's see if there's any difference. Yeah, it feels like some feature is not supported or something causing that blowout there. Again, it could be the driver I have or something. No, I don't want to exit. Oops, where were we now?
Tube shows green. Cycle complete.
Yeah, that's a lot smoother right now. Although, look at the transparency. It's pretty
Sorry
sad
for the
now.
quick thaw, Master Chief. Things are a little hectic right now.
There we go.
Orientation should pass quickly.
Welcome
But the
back.
tearing is just... I thought we had VSync on. Huh. Turn no VSync. Tears even more. Wow. Was not liking this at all. Oh well. Set it to 30 FPS. Lock it. Also go to higher refresh rates. And take that.
Chief, please look around the room. I need to get a calibration reading
So
for
much
your
tearing.
battlesuit's diagnostics. Good. Thank you, sir.
I'm bringing your health monitor.
It's like it's gonna be a slideshow. In Gunga
Vital
links.
signs look normal. No freezer burn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sir. Go ahead and climb out of the cryotube.
It's like, you know, we always talk about how we probably were okay with you know,
I gave you a double dose
dealing
of
with the
wake-up
settings we had back in the
Take a quick
day.
Walk around the cryo bay and join me
Now-
at the diagnostic station when you're ready.
The video settings a little bit, so there we go. A little flickering at the bottom is driving bonkers there. It's still playable. And I think that
Sir, I need you to look at me so we can begin.
fine.
Stand on the red square, please.
Busy.
I know the ordnance techs usually take care of your targeting sensors, but we're short of time, Chief. Just look at each of the flashing panels to target them.
Yeah, that's
You're
true. I
welcome.
could try it. We're able to switch to 800 by 600 correctly, and it took these settings, so... Up there we went to 75 hertz now.
Change color.
Here's like a freaking... Yeah, we'll go back to 60, I guess. Yeah, it's, again, it's like, you know, as we were playing this, especially if I was a kid or whatever, then you would have just dealt with it. It's just
Okay, that looks
sluggish.
good.
But I don't know. I'd have to look it up and see what the expected performance is on Halo on.
So you can see if you like it better that way. Try targeting the flashing lights again. Is that better, or should I switch it back?
Nope. Back.
Okay. Try looking up and down again, please. Do you want me to leave it like that or switch it again? Okay, I'll leave the pitch normal. But if you want, you can change it yourself later.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm ready for the energy shield test now.
Please follow me to the energy shield test station.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Would have argued which one's the best version and everything. You'll or charge me up. That's the thing, is like, you know, you have a very powerful machine, but it's possible, yeah, that has trouble like handling the dual processor setup. I don't know if there's a way to disable one or whatever, maybe. Or if there's just something that, you know, the port is just not that good, maybe. I mean, there's a lot of factors involved here, right? Without doing a whole bunch of testing back and forth.
Okay, bring his energy shields online, please.
Come on. There's that sound.
All right. Shields read as fully charged.
I don't think
Okay, sir. Bring them down to test the automatic.
I don't think of Halo as being the premier platform on you know, Mac. So I played the first Halo on Xbox. We bought Xbox when they had the fire sales at the end of their cycle when the 360 almost came out.
Recharging normally. We're showing
Bought a original Xbox, dirt cheap, and a coworker is like, "Yeah, I have a friend who mods Xboxes. Just give me a 6-pack of beer."
Captain, we'll have to
Did that,
start
got a
the
mod
weapons
chip in it, and
diagnostics
I
and
played Halo on it. So
Aye, aye, sir.
I'm not buying Halo, but
Skipper seems jumpy. We better get moving. We'll find you weapons later.
Okay, I'll leave the self-diagnostics running at least.
Good idea. You'd better get to your evac group, Sam.
Affirmative. I just have to reset the computer and I'm out of here. Oh God. They're trying
Halo
to get
3 I
through the
bought
door.
very early when it came out on 360 and enjoyed it. I have the collector's edition of that one.
Sam!
That was a great game.
Sam! Come on, we've got to get the hell out of here. This way.
Alert, all hands. Boarding party.
Yeah, this is definitely playable now. I mean, it's not as, like, what I would expect the top-tier gaming machine. Got the music coming in. Oh, space jumpy. Oh, I need a gun. Give me a gun.
Secure those blast doors. Move.
Wait for me!
Move.
Oh, a weapon.
Sirens, get out of here!
I need the weapon.
Sir, the captain needs you on the bridge ASAP. Better follow me.
Sure. Where'd you go? Plus, I'm following you. Give me a weapon. I remember, you know, Halo for me always just like, just such a cinematic and smooth experience. Like, the game had everything you'd want from that sort of game, so. At least in my opinion, but.
Captain Keyes is waiting for us, sir.
I get a gun? Oh, look at that. Ooh, that.
Captain Keyes. Good to see you, Master Chief. Things aren't going well.
Wow.
Cortana did her best, but
The, turning down the settings did not do any favors on that helmet.
Superior battleships against a single Halcyon class cruiser. With those odds, I'm content with 3. Make that 4.
Yeah, I'll look it up. I'm curious to see.
Sleep
Because
well?
if there might be some settings or things to do to make it more runnable, because yeah, 800 by 600 with low to medium settings at
He must have
best.
been one
You'd
of
think
their
the
boarding
9800 Pro would be able
I
to do
guess
better
an
than that.
antimatter
So
charge.
Bam! Fire control for the main cannon is off.
yeah, 2 is
Captain, the cannon was my last offensive option.
that is some nice stuff on
I'm
original
initiating
Xbox.
Code Protocol Article 2. We're abandoning the Otter. That means you too, Cortana.
While you do what? Go down with the ship?
In a manner of speaking. The object we found, I'm going to try and land the Autumn on it.
With all due respect, sir, this war...
Yep.
I don't keep it loaded, son. You'll have to find ammo as you go.
Did he not give me the weapon?
I gave you an order, so
Fine.
get off this ship.
Oh yeah, it's... There we go.
Those Marines could use some help, Chief. Do what you do best.
Well, there's no muscle flash or anything with these graphic settings. Yeah, I definitely play this game with better settings, so won't play Halo that long, but I just want to see how it ran. And just enough, I tried it on the Mac G4, like Sunflower.
Does anybody see him?
Um,
Where I can see you.
Yeah, you'd think so too.
Lost him. I don't see him either.
It might be that it needs a patch or something too. I could maybe poke around and look at that, but yeah. something seems off on the settings, because this is about the same performance I got on the Mac Sunflower, which is a MX4, I think, system, or a video card or whatever. So it's definitely, this should have a lot more horsepower. Hello? Hey, where's the freaking application? Oh. Games. Halo. There it is. That one. Choose. Performance. We set it to speed here and see what happens. Force vertical sync. Let's give it a try. Let's see what it does. I'm a little curious. Yeah, something seems off, because I mean, it has the drivers installed and everything. Oh, I don't want to browse. Look at this. So it's definitely official, like, drivers for it and everything, but it's possible that Halo needs a patch or something like that, or there's something with the, multi-processor situation or something. Well, I seem to remember having some performance on a Sunflower Mac, and again, that's way less powerful on the graphics front than what this is. Vertical sync on. Let's see if it does any difference with this kind of stuff. I don't know what performance does. Setting it to max speed. Is it going to override it? Yes, yes. No, I don't want to quit. Thought I had the other stuff unlocked. It's going to drop in the beginning now. That seems smoother, but we have the performance settings set now to... Definitely smoother, but again, what sacrifices we're making. Plus, it is doing the wonky thing again. There we go.
Way to go.
Those Marines could use some help, Chief. Do what you do best.
Yeah, now we have almost no graphical goodies on. I'm curious to see as we try other games now, too, and see if it does the same with performance-wise. This is definitely faster, but it also is, you know, overriding and turning off virtually everything. Like a 1900 Pro, I would expect to just, you know, eat Halo for breakfast. That's what I did on the Apple XP machine that has a 9700 Pro. We played Halo on that one, I think, and it's very easy for it to do that. Oh, I mean, it still looks better than the Xbox version, I guess, so. Got it. Can't read that, but... You're still not dead? The mouse turn speed is pretty slow.
Wow, he's taller than I thought. And better looking, too. Nobody on this side.
It looks a little rough there now, but...
Did something just hit us? Move it! Back to the airlock!
Yeah, I'm not sure on that one, honestly. We could try going back to what, 800, 600. I don't think it's much more to gain on that. But it does make me curious. We'll try a different game and see if we have a similar experience, and then we know more if it's just, if it happens to be just Halo. Because Doom 3 defaulted to a super high resolution, so that makes me believe there's something with Halo that's a problem. Maybe there is a patch for it or something. But let's try Quake 3. It's got to be a classic, right? So let's see. Quake 3. Is this going to run? Yep. I'm fairly certain this one's going to run a little better, but let's see what resolution we're landing at now. wonky. The widescreen, why not? The Mac gaming is so smooth and easy. May have to install some patches here. Let's see. We have Quake. Not that one. Quit displays. 10.1. Widescreen. Neat. There's a 10.2 G2. So Mac Quake 3. So widescreen? Widescreen. Love it. We'll give it a second to see if maybe it just needs to load, but it seems unlikely. It pulled in a really odd resolution at 200 frames per second, so something is definitely not wrong or right there. So make sure everyone's awake. The bright white screen. And that's the thing, too, is like all the support was given to PC at this time because that's where the gamers were. Games and gamers. So, you know, you look at the Mac side, I can't imagine the take rate or like the gaming, because I got a feeling most people that bought like a 9800 Pro for this kind of machine, they might have done some gaming, but most of the time they probably were using that for, you know, rendering tasks or video editing and that kind of stuff, right? That was kind of where they were targeting, especially with the dual CPU machines. They were more targeted towards business application, not business, but multimedia applications and whatever. Because there's very few. I don't think. Oh, never mind. I just had to give it some time, I guess. Gotta not be impatient. Let's change the system here. Let's see. Nope, not that. I do 1024. My screen's still saying it's out of range. The refresh rate. Yeah, what 100 frames per second, that's why. There is no VSync in here, is there? We may have to force that in. Let's just launch the game and see what it runs at, because I can't see it on my screen right now. I just want to see what it runs like before we mess with anything. It's all wonky right now, but... Oh yeah, this is more what I'd expect.
Welcome to Quake 3 Arena. To begin combat, crash to win this arena.
Yeah. You got a feeling something with Halo or a patch or something like that that's needed. I'm playing it through the capture window right now, so that makes it a little wonky. Yeah, this plays great. But, you know... It's a bit of an older game by that standard.
You have taken the lead.
And, you know, id Tech engine games are pretty much always well optimized. Overflow. Let's exit the game. Then I'm going to use the control panel to see if I can force VSync on this sucker. Quick 3. Choose. Vertical sync, please. On. Balance settings, why not? Unique profile, okay. Try and crank it. Try all settings here and see what happens. Sure, why not? Let's see if it does VSync now or if it still bypasses the refresh rate. Saw it at 100 FPS. Can't. And it might be a command line to set VSync in this or whatever. We'll just try it. Sure, it takes a long time to load up. Very strange resolution. That's not right. That's not right. Close enough. It gets wonky when the switches resolution. And I used to stream at a CRT here. It wasn't big of a deal, but now with a flat panel, it's a little less kind, if you will. And, you know, I find this era of the Mac fascinating, whatever, because it is just, you know, to me, that's the closest to the PC it was. I mean, short of when they had Intel processor, obviously later, but let's see, system 24. Yeah, we're at 100 frames per second. That's why they don't have any VSync option built in. I thought I set a VSync there. See if I can fix this a little bit. We are. It is. Hertz. That's why. All right, now I can scale this window here. What's going on here? Probably better. Ooh, it is not. Wonky as all hell.
Welcome to Quake 3 Arena. Enter the portal.
We're still pulling about 100 FPS, so... Oh, the window is all wonky. It's using an odd resolution going on here. But we got that weird image on the side there to stretch. Still, even with the... Yeah, besides the weird fish effect there, I think that's where capture card is wonking out with the high refresh rate going on. I could set the... Which is the command. So there's a command. Let's see. R display refresh 60. Oop, I didn't type it right. Change upon restarting. Okay. Oh, yeah, let's try. Yeah, definitely ran better. But it's still just like you feel like with as much horsepower we have available here, it should be running better. It feels like, but it's not. But again, it's just so hard to do that, and I kind of want to. That's a video idea I have. I'd like to compare it because I do have a 9800 Pro PC version as well. The one thing I worry about comparing is that I have to dig into a little more and make sure that the settings are right. Is there specific patches for the games? You know, what, if anything, is you know, what am I missing to make this run as best as it can? Compared to the way it is running. So 200 hertz. Sounds like it's soda number 2 time. And we'll hop some more games. I do have some real games sitting here, box games we can install that maybe have better luck running and see, because they were, you know, officially supported and they were real versions of everything. We got the fine. Except that did much here. Let's try this command line again here. Or at 200 hertz. So let's see. R display refresh 60. Max FPS 60. Vid Restart.
Welcome to Quake 3 Arena.
Still doesn't care. It's still just spitting it out at a max. Might be a force VSync. R swap interval. Oh, that's has to be done in the config file.
The portal to begin combat. Crash to win this arena.
Still playable. We're pulling some pretty freaking high refresh rates. Oh, that's had the trademark on a like I call it almost like a dithering effect. Something doesn't look quite right, but I guess again we could twiddle with this game forever. But what I'm probably gonna do is spend some time when we're not streaming. It's just to mess with games to make sure and see if I can get them to run the way they're supposed to, because I want to make sure if I do any video comparisons between PC and Mac for this, I'm gonna try to do it justice and not, you know, hand wave away. Oh, it's a much worse experience doing it on the Mac, you know.
Tier 1.
Tier 1.
Ranger. Phobos. Minx. Orb. Sarge.
Alright. Well, that's... Unless there's a config file in here. I don't think so. There's a config file. Can I edit this? I don't even know what the frickin' regular set it on that. There we go. Max FPS. 60. Give this one more try. Set R display refresh. 60. Why not? File save. Generate by Quake. Do not modify. I like them dangerously. That's true, Eric. That wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing either. But I feel like I'm such a noob when it comes to Mac gaming like this, right? Because in most cases, I would just go to the PC. That I get a feeling someone else has already fought this battle, if you will, and figured it out. Or it's just kind of, you know, maybe this is not something people chase after on the Mac side in general. Because, I mean, for me, the more fascinating area is probably the slightly older stuff versus this cutting-edge ones. I say cutting edge, you know, cutting edge for what this is. On the Mac side. I do wonder if that dual processor thing is a hindrance to it, because I'm not sure if, even though it has a high, goodness. If it has a high-spec CPU at 1.42 gigahertz, it might be having trouble like handling on where should the load be, or if it's not handling that correctly. I do not think it cared about my configuration file. Nope, it did not care. All right, anyway, going off Quake 3. I'll mess with that separately. Yeah, I'm using what I understand is a good current driver for it, so it could be something else. Maybe some system patches to handle the multiprocessor situation or not. So yeah, I installed Sin. I was a little curious to see if that would run. That's using Quake 2 engine, so that should be a lot easier to run, even though Copy the syn folder to your... That's pretty glorious. Ah, yes. Amiga Vision, welcome. I guess I should do some Amiga streaming in April Amiga. I think there's any months now that aren't. Oh, never mind. It runs on. It needs OS 9. Man, I thought this was done for OS X. Fascinating. Oh well. That's always the kicker too, is finding the ones that are made for OS X in the first place. So we talked about Red Faction. And actually, maybe we should just install one of the games. Yeah, we have Sacrifice here in big box formats. So let's try Red Faction. It also needs 9. That's weird. I thought these were the Mac OS X supported ones, but it might need some OS 9 compatibility stuff. They're not native OS X versions. Let's install an actual game from disk. Yeah, that Sin character is something else. Or like, you know, look at us, we can do this. We can render a very, very attractive, yeah, whatever that is. Yeah, I kind of want to try the new Intel cards as well. They have like an appealing interest, I guess, in the fact that it's a third player. Come on. At least this one is right, because this has a sticker that says built for Mac OS X, so I know that. But I can't get it out of the freaking box, so it may not matter. There we go. I was expecting a jewel case, not an actual DVD style case in the middle here. Yeah, it actually has a full regular DVD jewel case in the middle, or jewel case, DVD thing in here. But this is a game that is built for Mac OS X. With a real disc. I am not, no. I'm just using a 4070, actually. It's nothing super exciting. It'll be a Jedi Knight 2 as well. I'll be curious. And that's where, again, it's like my, you know, me not being super familiar with all this stuff. It's always going to be a kind of a learning experience for me as I'm messing around with OS X and see if it finds it. I tried to install Doom 3 earlier from CD or DVD, and it just did not like it. Maybe this drive is on the way out too. It's like, boy, this computer is just it's so smooth. Not to say that this would have been the original experience for anyone buying this computer, but so far we haven't had much luck with just like, I just want to play the game. Yeah, maybe that's something that should be set up. I actually, what I'm trying to do, Amiga Vision there, is I am redesigning my home network a little bit to allow internet to go out from my retro component of my network. For those unfamiliar, I have two kind of separate networks in my home. One is an old router that's not accessible from the outside, and it runs just my retro computer so I can share data, which is what this is on right now. So it can't get out to the internet right now at all. My normal regular network is separated, so there's air gap. The only place that bridges the gap is my modern PC because it has two network cards in it. One that goes to my modern network and one that goes to the retro network. So I can use that to get data into the retro network. What I want to do now is set up the retro router, if you will, or get a different retro router. I have another newer one sitting here. Use that as my retro router and have that do forwarding out to my modern router so that the retro network can get to the internet. But then I also want to prevent the retro network from browsing the rest of the modern network, so I can do a little routing and stuff like that. So that's my plan anyway. I don't think this drive is liking this very much. Actual real disk, and doesn't even cooperate. Check these here. Get in there. Because let's see. This. Yeah, pretty low requirements here, actually. It's PowerMac G4 350. And that's the thing, is the idea being that I would not want my retro computers. People do it all the time. Nice. Because, yeah, I would like to have... I know there's like a mod browser, mod tracker software. You can just play mod music off directly on Amiga and stuff like that. And then be able to download files, so it will be convenient too. The idea being is that the only connection will be allowed was that it has to be initialized from the retro computer to go out. Nothing will be allowed in by itself, right? That's what a router would do by default. And I would then segment it so that anything from the retro network would not be able to browse or connect to my modern network, even though there is a network connection between the two. So that's the intent or purpose of that. This CD combo drive is not having a good time, it seems like. So our retro networking is going very well so far. Or retro gaming on the Mac is going very well so far. Check something. I was trying to look around a little bit with Doom 3, but... There's a Mac demo. Try that. Doom. It's not like we're going to play the whole thing or not, so I'll have to download while we're working on something else. Yeah, it should automatically pop up, but it actually is not even finding this disk, so I think this drive is having problems too. But that's the thing too, is once you, like... First off, you make yourself a small target, but then also if you were to get into the retro computer, like, it's not going to answer anything that's a modern, hacker. Like you mentioned, Eric's like, why would it try and do something? Why would a hacker try and get into that network? So if you're trying to reduce the attack surface, and also it's not going to answer anything modern, right? It's not going to understand any modern protocol at all. So it's more convenience of being able to get to some of these retro websites and being able to, download files and browse certain things directly. I also have a big box copy of Warcraft 3 here. Let's try that quick. Not holding my hopes. This is a multi-disc that supports all the versions. One of my previous jobs, one of my coworkers there found out, it's like, oh, you're collecting boxes or old game boxes? I'm like, yeah. Hey, do you want this big box of Warcraft 3? Absolutely. Thanks so much. That's how I got the Warcraft 3 box. Because this is the period of time where they were selling, the small boxes for a lot of these. So I got a feeling this drive is just on the way out. This is supposed to be the combo version. It has the Macintosh installer on it. We'll see if it can read it or not. With that. Looks like I might just restart or something. Maybe something else stuck. Yeah. There definitely was a Voodoo 5 Mac. That one's also probably very desirable now. Heck, was Voodoo cards from Amiga, right? Can make them run there. You remember, all the boxes behind me are huge, so that's how we run. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try and restart here. Something seems wonky. Restart. Downloading the Doom Mac demo. Try a demo, maybe we'll see how that runs. And I will say, it's like, while I find this era fascinating on the Mac side, I'll spit out the disk because I didn't like it. Jerk. I do really enjoy the earlier Power Platform or Power PC machines and everything. Like, the Mac OS 7, 8, 9 kind of thing. That feels more like the Windows 95, 98 era to me, which basically is. And that's the one that probably feels the most like at home. OS X feels kind of new to me because it is such a drastic departure from how Macs were before that, right? You know, it was rebuilt from the ground up, so. And then it transitions into, you know, quote-unquote modern Macintoshes for me pretty quickly after that. This is one of the, I think, you know, you're getting into the era now where you're some of the last, like, PowerPC Macs before they went to Intel. Freaking insert and eject button, or the eject button is on the keyboard. Like, there's no button on the actual drive to eject the drive, and that threw me off quite a bit there, but yeah. I feel this drive is not doing so hot. Let's see what's compatible. I think it's just an ATA drive in this particular machine. I could be wrong. Something's not doing well there. Doom 3 Mac demo still downloading, so we'll continue looking at that. And we're waiting for Jedi Knight. See if we can get that to run. Oh, they're all packaged and extract. Let's go do that dual processor. Give us some exercise here in extracting stuff. Do that right? Can you do it? Come on. Oh, look, it sees the disk there. Just click that. So why didn't it show up on the desktop? There it is. Oh, we're doing this at the same time as I'm extracting, so this is probably not going to... I'll have to wait a little bit. Well, apparently the dual processor trying to do this. It's not holding on so well. I mean, it is, yeah, that sums it up really well, right? It's like we're still on x86, and Windows is just, they're a slave to x86. There's no way around it because there's so much software that has to be compatible. I feel like if Windows or Microsoft had really wanted to get to the next generation, right, they would have done what Apple did, is to create a translation layer. Because, yeah, those new Apple Silicon, they're pretty freaking amazing, from what I understand. So we're going to cancel that. Nope. Be gone. Now we're going to run this installer. Glorious icons, though. That is, you know, visually, this is such early 2000. It's just, all right, we're getting there. No, I don't want to install it to applications. Not allowed. Games, please. Install. This one I have the key for, so. All right. Sorry, gents. Looking at the black screen. It's a pretty good stream, right? That's why I like retro stuff too, because there's such a broad spectrum, right? And if you're willing to keep an open mind, there is so many different systems. There are so many systems to explore. Especially get into something that you haven't messed with much, like in my case here, these later Macs, where I mess with them a little bit. But it will be fun if I can get this machine fully running at some point with like all the settings and figure out what the heck is going on with the performance here, because it still doesn't seem quite right. So I'm curious to see how this runs. So, but yeah, I think that, you know, you look at it from x86 as it's been locked down and unchanged for so long that it's just a matter of time, I think, before they run out of, like, I mean, I'm oversimplifying it, but it's like sooner or later you're going to run into some dead ends on that, I think, or feel like, where ARM processors are going to take off. I mean, they've been using the same type of architecture just for ages, but then finally getting to the point now, especially looking at Apple Silicon and everything. And I got to assume that NVIDIA is working on something too, right? Because they aren't getting an x86 license anytime soon. So, yeah. Things are moving the ARM direction, to say the least. It's funny you look at it. It's like they've been... ARM processors have been run in some way, shape, or form since like freaking 80s or whatever. The, what was it, Acon, or the Archimedes Acorn machines, right? Yeah, it did go 64-bit, so there's that part. But you think about like what the registry is on the Windows side, it is so like convoluted. And that's why it's so weird for me to mess with a retro Mac. Like, oh, you just drag the folder and it's installed. Like, that doesn't seem right. Like, we've been dealing with the registry forever in Windows world, right? And system files dropping left and right and random things. Like, oh, you delete this file folder on the Mac and it's gone? That's weird. Yeah. That's true. They have for a long time. But I feel like something like Apple with so much money behind themselves and realizing that we want our own processors, and they pushed all their might behind it and made it happen. And they are some of the fastest, like, most efficient processors around. I think it's inevitable that's where it's going to go, but we'll see how long. I mean, everyone says it's the year of Linux and all that. I guess I'm not sure how the ARM support is on Linux compared to Windows. I haven't messed with it at all, so. Ah, yes, I remember those days. It's fun when you do a retro machine. You forget about that. And like, I'm at a max on my Windows XP machine. It's like, no, you're not. If you do the 32-bit, then you're not going to go anything more than 3 gigs. It's just, that's the limit, so. I don't know how many times I remember reading like forum posts or whatever back in the day, or people were trying to upgrade machines, and then they were like, I'm going to get more memory, and you install it. It's like, I can only use this many gigs. What's going on? 64-bit. That was a brutal changeover, too, for a while there, where 64-bit versions of Windows had a lot of compatibility problems, so. Yep, that's the thing, too. The phones have not been using, you know, most of them don't use x86 processors that I'm aware of, so a different type of system altogether. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I suppose. I figured that's the benefit of Linux there, but... And that's a kicker, right? It's supporting. And that's why you look at, for example, like for me, with the Proton and everything on the... Now we're shifting gears with the Linux and the gaming side, right? Is that, sure, you can have native native ports to Linux, but then using that translation layer on the fly, I mean, that's crazy how much that's opened up gaming on Linux over the last few years. I know Valve put a lot of effort behind it, but it seems to me that most games just run, you know, because it's translating all DirectX stuff, whatever. It's just Windows is what Windows is, and it's built upon itself so many years and so many times that it's just, I'm afraid the house of cards going to collapse at some point. And it feels like that's kind of gotten the limit now lately with all the Windows 11 problems we've seen. Maybe that's something that will improve. Microsoft said they were committed to making Windows 11 snappier and better and everything. And it's just, I don't know. I'll believe when I see it. It's like, even in this operating system, we're on OS X like 10.4 here now. Of course, this was new and shiny, but it's cohesive. Things are, like, they're all with a design behind them. Windows 11 is built on top of the bones of basically Windows 2000 and 3.5 and all this stuff. And you can see it. Like, it doesn't take much to peel back the veneer to see the core where it came from, which I guess is fine, but the fact that the control panel has not been merged into, like, this settings thing, a clean settings page. It's still a control panel, some settings. It just, that's nuts to me. Like, they have not sat down with Windows and said, like, this is how the experience should be. Instead, they've just kind of taken pieces and chunks, and then, of course, like you mentioned, they're just shoved in spyware and Copilot anywhere they can. And it's just, you know, yeah, thinking more of the NT architecture and everything that we have today, or, you know, But yes, there's plenty of stuff behind there too. They did, but they did it very poorly, I was going to say, because it's one thing to rebuild and redo the interface and everything, but that forced Metro Start menu was just a very bad step. That was much more like, I remember like, oh, we're going to go touchscreen everything, right? That was the whole point, is like, we're going to go touch everything. And that's what, that's not what people wanted for Windows. Yeah. I had a coworker who bought the Windows 8 RT tablet or whatever, and he was all excited, but there was no software for it. Like, nothing could run on it, so... But yeah, that's the thing too, is I notice as I'm hopping into like Bazide and just running KDE Plasma and stuff, even that feels like cohesive. It feels like a well-designed operating system. Feels like a well-designed window manager. Like it feels like it has, yeah, again, cohesion. And that's something I feel is lacking. I mean, heck, you even look at like running Amiga and everything. Amiga OS feels it has cohesion. Windows right now feels like a patchwork of random things stitched together, because it really is. So, yeah, I've been on Windows since 3.11. I mean, that's where I started Windows, and I've had a Windows computer as my primary machine ever since then. And I feel like I've always been a supporter of Windows. I'm feeling like, you know, that's the one that works. And of course, gaming, that's where it's been. I've been gaming, and that's where it's been. And I just feel like they're running out of time. And then when they're saying, like, we're going to take Project Helix and merge that to get us an Xbox and make it a PC and everything, I have very low confidence that Microsoft will pull that off. Again, making it cohesive. Because when I fire up my Xbox, that feels cohesive. Like, it launches quickly, the games are there, the settings are there, everything works nicely and cleanly. It doesn't feel bloated at all. And that's not the case for Windows from a gaming perspective right now. Oh, hope I didn't press a cancel button. Tap the button on the keyboard by mistake. Uh-oh. No. Oh, wow. Oh. Well, that was anticlimactic. The question is, did it fail due to some button I pushed? Because that was a long installer. Alright, maybe we'll try a different game for now, because we feel up to it, we can try and install it again, but that was a slow burn. Alright, we'll try Halo. Duke 3D runs. I don't think so. Let's try it. This is for Mac OS X, so... There we go. Ooh, we got installed from, we'll do shareware. I don't have the retail disc, so... Yeah, try it. True. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it will survive. You can tell that they're more moving towards the PC side, right? And we're going to make it a PC, and it's going to run the PC code and everything. And Microsoft has had so long to make a compelling or useful Windows-based gaming system, if you will. And every initiative they tried has been hackneyed together and just poorly made. And yeah, even the Game Pass and the Xbox app and everything still on Windows is still kind of like a hack job, and it's get later. You know, it has versions out of date. It's just, I don't know. I don't have high confidence or any confidence that Microsoft can pull off that sort of thing anymore. Did it drop Duke in here? It did. You go in games, dang it. That's where you belong. Can't play modern games, or... Oh. Oh. That is not a pleasant sound.
Let's rock.
Let's rock.
Those alien bastards are gonna pay for shooting up my ride.
Well, Duke runs great. As I would hope it should. The processor's not even awake at this point running this slow, right? Exactly why you know, spend like the equivalent of like $5,000 to buy a Mac to play Duke Nukem 3D. Always bet on Duke. Oops. Yeah, it doesn't sound horrific. Mighty Foot engaged. Oh. Fix this in this version, you can't just both at the same time? That's lame. Da, 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 da. No. I guess we got into a big, like, OS discussion now. Totally retro. There's still retro adjacent. Oh, Duke works. It's running in a high-res mode now, right? It's gotta be. You set that up? Detail high. It should be a piece of cake to run this, right? Just interactivity you had in this game was so amazing. Yeah, still feels like it's a little, like, something feels like a little bit off on the pacing in the game. Like, it feels a little, how to describe it? Not a smooth as Steven and DOS version. Could be a port or timing thing or something like that. But anyway, Duke works. Let's see if we can try that Doom 3 demo now. I'm downloading. Out to the NAS. That's right. I remember with my Note phones or whatever, it was a big deal when they had all that Samsung decks that I called. I can't remember, where you could dock it and get a full desktop and everything. But I've used for modern gaming, I've used my Steam PCs a lot, but you asked me to pick one retro machine like that with the Windows, whatever. I mean, XP was great. That is such a broad range of whatever of a gaming you can do on that is ridiculous. Probably the best bang for your buck for any retro system, right? Because you can play so many games and so many things on Windows XP. There's Doom 3. Demo. We'll copy to desktop. Yeah, that's something I want to revisit. How is it to revisit Vista these days? Because it'd be fun, honestly, to jump back into it with way more horsepower and memory than we had back then, plus all the patches, right? Vista, I remember fighting with it a lot, and it just felt so sluggish coming off XP. And XP was so smooth and clean and everything. I feel like when 7 came out, it was like, oh, wow, this is what XP, was, or what Vista should have been. I know there was like an emergency redo after Vista because it was just not good. So, but I also have not again revisited it for a long time in regards to like more powerful retro machines and everything. I am curious. I'm probably going to spend some time at some point to do a little research and figure out if there's any way to. It's something I'm missing on this machine. Should it be running a different OS X version? Does it need patches or something to handle a multi-processor? Is there some settings you can do to disable to run on one? I'm not sure. Is there something with the disk that's a problem? Like, does it need to be prepped a different way? You know, what's going on? Could be something like that, but any system settings in here at all, really? I'm trying to, like, obfuscate the computer, basically, from the user, almost. Finder preferences. Running is supposedly the good version of this and everything, but this, of course, just to see what the settings are. CPUs. Got all the cache, all the memory, all the stuff we could possibly want. I do believe I'm using a SATA converter card for the hard drive, so maybe it doesn't like that, but... Well, memory, 2700, so it's stacked in that perspective. It also might be that, you know, you run some sort of software is optimized for dual processor. It might fly by comparison, so who knows. And it's definitely a beast as far as like spec-wise goes, but then how do you translate that to actual performance, especially in games where, you know, we're interested in it? I know that the software does take advantage of the dual processors run very well, but you think about, too, what I was trying to do with this was think to myself, if you had bought this machine and you spec'd it out this way, and it's basically top-tier G4 at this point, right? It's the most powerful you can get, and you wanted to play your games, like, it should hopefully work out of the box, you'd think, right? You shouldn't have to do anything crazy to make that performance be there, at least in a playable format. Like, for instance, like at Halo, I would expect it to run a little better on 9800 Pro. That's why I wonder if something is with that card or the settings. Something I didn't do right with installing it or something. I mean, it runs fine. It's detecting it. You know, clearly it does that fine, but it feels like something is not up to the speed you'd think. But without having another, like, optimized Mac to compare it to, it's hard to define that. But, yeah. I just want to see how Doom 3 runs, because that would have been a flagship title, really, right, when you think about it, for the Radeon 9800 or the 9700 Pro, above all. But the 9800 Pro should be god-level card. And that's the thing, I needed to look and see, because I thought the drivers I was using was the recommended one for this card. So that is the newer version. There's a driver CD-ROM that came out as well. Could try that. Yeah, 9800 Pro, June 2003. That is an option. Should try that. It's the driver CD. No harm in downloading it. We'll try it. Power of networking. I think I tried a couple of different Radeon drivers, honestly. But we can try another one, too. I think we're looking at the 9800 Pro driver specifically. So we'll try... There's a driver disk that was for June 2003, which is older than the Radeon drivers I have installed, but it is also the driver disk that came with the card, I believe. So that might be worth a try. Because the newer Radeon drivers, like they are... I mean, it detects it's fine, right? So we can see that in system preferences. It shows the card here, right? So it knows it's And it looks like the official one. That's the... This is even the one that's adapted for... this one was released with the X800 XT, I believe, which is then the very last card available. Advanced settings. We mess with that at all? Display control. CRT settings. We can definitely try that, but maybe we should try the Doom 3 demo first. Extracting, opening, extracting. My goodness, so much of that going on. That's how it is when you mess with the system you don't mess with otherwise. Free demo. All right, let's see what resolution is going to kick in here now. Because that's the kicker. I want to see if we can find a game that runs well. I mean, Quake 3 ran all right, right? But if we can find something that runs well, I am curious to see if that will give us some information. So let's see if we can set the resolution better here now. Where the heck? There it is. Really? You have to exit the game to change resolution? Really? The V-Sync here at all? Vertical sync on. Best graphics engine ever. It was a heck of an impressive engine. There's no denying that. Very dark. You know, the way they applied it was a little bit interesting, but looking at 60 FPS, not V-syncing at all, right? 10x600 full screen, medium quality. See where it drops us in here now. Loading. Yeah, I remember seeing the first pictures of Doom 3 and I was like, oh my goodness, it looked so like different than anything else. Yeah, we'll do live. We'll try live. And it's funny part because the reason I'm looking over here now is I'm watching in the capture window or the streaming window because my display only goes to 60 hertz, and this for some reason game is wanting to kick it up higher than that. It's at 200 hertz right now. So my display is going nuh-uh. That's what happens a little bit too with cranking the brightness to make it less spooky. Yeah. Get into the game. Oh my goodness.
Welcome to Mars. All new arrivals need to check in at reception.
It runs, but...
Welcome to Mars City, Union Aerospace's premier research facility.
I gotta
To
get
expedite your processing, please proceed directly to reception.
Playable.
Welcome to Mars, Marine. I'm gonna need you to step on one of those red squares on the floor for a bioscan. This'll only take a second.
Still runs. This is 800 by 600 though, so it's not exactly cranked, but...
You're gonna need to hold still. Moving around only makes the test take longer.
I am not moving around.
Alright, bioscan looks good. You're cleared for entry.
But then you'd almost have to jump over to a... This is supposed to be like a showcase and everything, to a Windows version of this game to see if it runs any better or worse.
This facility serves as the central hub for all scientific research. Welcome to Mars. First time?
It's so dark,
Just
this
leave
game.
your bag there. I'll have it sent up your quarters. Okay, there's a few things we need to take care of first. This is your personal data assistant. You'll need this to access all
of what.
secure areas.
So we have
If you
Doom
get
3,
clearance for any security zones,
Quake
then
4.
download directly.
What other
It's
games use
important,
IDTech 3?
So don't lose it. I see here that Sergeant
IDTech
Kelly
3,
has
but
requested
what
your
else
immediate
used the Doom
attention.
3 engine? I'm trying to
Head
think.
directly to Marine Command.
It
It's
wasn't a
just
very
that
used
way.
one, was it?
Follow the signs.
Yada yada.
Mars City
Oh no, I
is a
got my
smoke-free
gun.
facility. Please
Prey,
smoke
yeah, that's
only
right.
in designated areas.
Yeah, 2006
Thank
Prey.
you for your cooperation.
Yeah, as soon as we get into bigger areas,
There
it
seems
is.
to be some very serious problems.
Oh, really?
We are totally not evil. I am not evil at all. No, sirree.
But I've been authorized by the board to look at everything.
The board authorized you? The board doesn't know the first thing about science. All
Yeah,
they
it
want
is impressive
something to make
engine,
them more
really.
money, some product.
But I feel like it
Don't
wasn't
worry.
utilized as much.
They'll get their product.
Also feels like it was quite heavy for its
After how many
time.
accidents? Tell me, Dr. Betruger, why are so many workers spooked, complaining, requesting transfers off
I think that
Mars?
They simply
now
can't
that said, during this
handle
era
life
of myself, I probably was
They're
pretty
exhausted
obsessive
and
with like
overworked.
messing with settings and
If I
stuff.
had a
But
larger, more competent staff
playable.
and bigger budget, even these few accidents could have been avoided.
I'm afraid you'll get nothing more until my report is filed with the board. I will need full access, Dr.
running
Betruger, Delta included.
864.
I won't have any difficulties doing
Weird
that,
part.
will I?
Only if you get lost, Swan. Just stay out of my way. Amazing things will happen here soon. You just wait.
Not ominous. Let's size it up here. I'm not sure why it's so wonky. There we go. Yeah, that's weird. Went to a very weird resolution kind of thing. Also, good evening, Synergy, 1987, if I didn't say hi. Yeah, they did some really cool things with lighting in this engine. That's why it felt like, I remember seeing magazine prints and stuff, like, it looks like so, I mean, realistic, whatever you want to call it, something I've never seen before, you know?
Yeah, so those suits arrived too. Weird. The UAC must be worried about something.
We have streamed this before, and
Accidents? That's
we, I don't remember what we ran it on, but definitely a,
Attention. Dr.
might have been 9700 Pro,
Please
honestly,
report
or I
to
might have played on something more
Environment
powerful, but
Management Office 4 Alpha.
definitely ran better than this.
Kelly ASAP. He's in Command HQ.
Yeah, I don't think we're running Crisis on this sucker.
Yes, sir.
Green HQ.
Took your sweet time, Marine?
No, I didn't. I walked right here, dude.
Here's the situation. Another member of the science team's
Look
gone
at those
missing.
tracks.
Since you're the ranking FNG, you get to find him. I want you to check out the old decommissioned comm facility.
Alright, we can try the
Might be
other
getting that
Radeon
way.
driver and
The
see
only
if there's
way
any
there is through the
difference, which is an
service
older
passage
version,
under
but,
Mars
you know,
City.
sometimes you have a situation where some
Programmed
drivers
the
are better than
sentry to guide
others,
you to the
so...
maintenance elevator. Hope you follow the sentry better than you followed orders so far. You pick up some gear at the
Dude,
security
lay off. I
checkpoint
walked
at the
right
bottom of the
here.
elevator. Oh, and when you find him, just bring him back. Do not hurt him. Now move out.
Ugh, yeah. Can we save it all? Yep. They really just did the beginning of the game because that's all the, you know, slow showcases of all the nice effects and everything. Alright, let's try. Now see how it's going to go with messing with drivers here. Let's see. Just ISO. So spending a lot of time copying data back and forth, which is why that NAS is pretty nice. And for those that are maybe not familiar, I call it a retro NAS, but it's not actually running the retro NAS software. It's an old Buffalo, NAS, like a single drive that I bought. I mean, originally when it was new for backing up stuff, and I use that now as a retro device because it supports like everything on it. It's got a built-in network, and supports all the old protocols I need on it, and it works great for copying files back and forth. So Yeah. Yeah, it did run, but it feels like something doesn't feel quite right. But that's the kicker too, is that which of these games just maybe get thrown off by that dual processor situation, right? Maybe they run dramatically better on a single processor system, that just because it doesn't know how to, like if the OS hasn't anything built in to handle it correctly or whatever, then it might be a problem. Sure it does. SMB1 and all that good stuff, right? Because it sits on my retro network. It has no connection or direct access to the dismount this. Radeon 9800 OS X software. Mac edition. Well, that certainly looks like the accept. 10.2.5 higher. So that's all right. Install. I will see what happens now that it has potentially both versions now. Interesting. Okay. All right, that's fine. We'll restart. That was a quick install too. But it's like, you look at drivers and everything, how they are on the Windows side. They don't have to nestle themselves into the registry, etc. So not quite the same depth, I suppose. We'll see. Now at least we have a direct comparison on that Doom 3 demo. We can hop right back in. The chime there. And see how it does. But yeah, it just something feels like, if this is the performance that is on this system, then so be it. But just something feels a little different. It says, yeah, the OS X has drivers needed for it. And drivers might be in the operating system baked in, so... yeah. I don't know. Something seems a little bit different, so... So the question is, it might not be the OS, it might be something with, the only thing, let's see, did it... We'll have the same, oh. Yeah, I think the old one is airing out now because we basically broke it. That's all right. Did it drop anything else in here? Utilities. Nope. All right, let's try that demo again. If it just made any difference at all. Spec-wise and everything, this should be just blowing everything else away, basically. When you look at progress and everything, as far as like video quality and everything, for me, games... If you look back at a game now, look at the density of objects and everything, and that's the feel like, you look especially like Crimson Desert and stuff, like it has just a ridiculous density. Again, I haven't played it, but at least for me, it looks like it has just insane density and quality of the world as it sits and everything, and that's something that feels like it's easy to forget that sort of progress versus like resolution and everything. So like world detail, and think back to you're playing a game from the late 90s, early 2000s, it's like, which one is a destructible wall? One with a different texture. And now you could do that so cleanly and well, you wouldn't be able to tell, unless the developer wants you to, right? That's where the whole yellow paint thing came from. So yeah, at that point, it might be that the Radeon drivers are basically baked into the OS. Might be need a different version of OS X. Oh, that might just be the way it is. Oh, runs about the same. I don't see any major difference here, so... If you ran this on a 9800 Pro on a PC, I think it should run quite well, because again, the 9700 Pro was touted as the card to play the game on, so... Video disc. It's playable, but yeah, we're not pulling any impressive numbers
Attention
here.
UAC personnel.
Doing a weird...
Interested in earning more credits? Volunteer at Delta Labs today. See your service branch director for more details.
Or like in a modern game, like speaking of density, when you have like some sort of physics effect or something that happens, something flies around or explodes, whatever, there's just so much like particle effects and stuff like that going on. Ooh. I don't know that there was.
The UAC cares about the quality of life of its employees. Please,
yeah,
take advantage.
It's weird. We have 128 megs of RAM, I think, on this card, so... But it also, like, no settings to mess with, especially now that I broke the installer there, but... I think it might be that the drivers, it's just, there are no drivers in that sense, it seems like. They're basically just built into the OS. What I do wonder is if you go to preferences... Out here. Click the ADA here. I think it actually stalls out. So I wonder if there's something with the SATA card I have installed for the hard drive may not be playing nice. There's actually a modern card that people have flashed to work in RetroMax. I think you do this. It actually just kind of errors out. So there might be something else going on with this machine. Something that's causing some wait states or something like that. Maybe better to redo it with just a normal hard drive instead of the SATA drive. I don't know. I have to look and compare like performance. Maybe I should just find a video of someone playing Doom 3 on a Radeon 9800 Pro Mac version and see what it looks like. Because I really don't know. Maybe that's just all you get. But I would think 9800 Pro is a fast freaking card. So... Oh, there we go. It found it finally. Let's see. Gaming sluggish. Yeah, Halo really needs a G5. Seems like it's just, you know, just the way it was. You need to get pretty much no value out of dual processing. Quake 3 Arena, I believe. We're optimized for it. Yeah, might be some options, but meaningless for gaming. That's fine, as long as it, like, knows to use one processor, then that's fine, but... I'll look into that later, but yeah. Something doesn't feel quite right. But yeah, maybe this is all they got, so... yeah... The graphics display, 256 meg actually, so plenty of horsepower. Quartz Extreme. Let's see, what else should we try for games? Halo, we've done that. Duke 3D worked. I think Quake 2. I don't even know what this actually is, but it won't run, so it might be an OS 9 thing. Red Faction didn't run. It's Unreal. Oh, 6. Okay. Not the right one. Evening, Mark Anning. Welcome. So I'm the first person. That's not a good sign. So I was hoping to find someone who's done this before, but I really do want to compare. I think it would be fascinating to see the Mac version versus the PC version. Not in a like, oh, who's the best, but I want to make sure I know what I'm talking about when I talk about this. Like, is this the accurate performance that you should be expecting? Like, right? I don't know if that's the case. I'll make sure I'm not doing it wrong, as it were. Or drop a few more games in here, too. Could try and kick out the Warcraft 3 again. I kind of want to see how that runs. I'm a little bummed that it errored out that late in the installer. But I also hit a key on the keyboard at the same time it errored out, so I don't know if that's just pure chance or not. Can't really multitask either, so. Yeah, I've been curious to try that and see if there's any difference. Something just seems wrong with the speed of the drives here. It's a SATA drive, or the SATA thing should be pretty good. And the intent with that is mostly to be able to use the SATA drive in the first place, right? But I'm not sure it goes through the PCI bus, so yeah, that's true. And this thing too, I would definitely need to have some games to compare, like Unreal Tournament. I know Heretic 2 has a benchmark mode built in and stuff like that. So there's some games that I would need to compare that exist on both platforms to get a raw performance count too. But raw performance is not everything. But I think it would be fascinating to look at the analysis of that to see the comparisons. But again, I need to make sure I know what I'm talking about, so I don't just, misrepresent the Mac in its glory of its performance here. Yeah, this is just dog slow from the, maybe the disk access speed is a problem. I'm not sure. If there's a disk benchmark utility on here. It probably is somewhere. I don't think it's built in, but yeah, it's got a default is like a standard 7200 RPM drive, and I do have, it's a SATA expansion card. That's a modern card, modernish, that's been flashed to work in a Mac, basically for this purpose, is so that you can use a SATA drive on a older Mac that does normally not support it. So at least the read speed here from the CD is just really slow. Fascinating. All right, my boys, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next time. For awareness, I'm probably not going to stream next week. I'll be out of town for next Tuesday, so we'll skip next week for streaming, just for FYI. The crisis, yep. Always the thing to try. Let's poke around a little bit. Yeah, this just does not seem right. Like, I don't think that it should take this long to pull this up. Again, it could be the drive, the CD drive that's going out. It's definitely a possibility. It's not necessarily that it's the system or hard drive, as it were. I don't think that should impact, like, that impacts, like, loading and stuff like that, but I think once you're in a game running, I don't think that should impact very much as far as, like, raw performance that you're seeing. Diagnostics, yeah. Passed. I don't know if it did anything. Because all these games were ported right, so they know they should have been, supported and accepted and everything. Seem to drag. Not responding. Or quit. Did I have to do it? Seems more of a suggestion than a inject the CD if it lets me. Just trying to install a regular old game. It's not playing nice. Eject. Well, it ejected it. It's not getting the disc itself. What games did I drop on here? Did grab Unreal Tournament 2003. All right, it did give me back the disc at least, so I'll try that offline so I don't sit there and wait for it. But yeah, I'm curious to see if I can try a regular hard drive and see if that improves like the read speeds and everything. How long does that take? The problem, you're getting into the disk era now. I'm gonna wait for 10 minutes for that. Getting into the disk era of everything. That's why I was hoping to install something from the drive, because that would be a lot, figured that'd be quicker. Turns out that's not the case. Try sacrifice again. Yeah, me neither, but also would take a long time to copy the files. So we'll see if we get to that, but I will try sacrifice again and see if it finds it. This thing with retro computers, spend more time messing with them than you try actually playing. Such it is. I remember I had friends who had a G3, like the, whatever iMac thing, and they played a ton of games on that, but it was also one era earlier, right? You're talking about like Diablo 2 and that kind of stuff like that. There was a lot of games for that generation of Mac. Find it. Something feels really sluggish with the drive here. Maybe we'll copy something else while we're waiting, because it just feels slow there. Max Payne. That would be an interesting one. $600 meg. I copy in the background, see if it lets us do both at the same time. So much waiting or whatever. That's usually when I prep games ahead of time, but in this case here, there were so many games that are so large and it takes such a long time to copy them. It's going at 100 megabit per second, or at best. So, yep, exactly. And that's the thing I find. So it did not support stuff by default. I had to install a specific software for that, because it seems to me that stuff it was used more for the older Macs. Maybe it's a disk that's the problem with the whole thing. But again, I don't think that should impact like graphics performance much. Yeah. Hey, Johnny Gong, welcome. Yeah, it's a Mac version of Radeon at least. At least it's I did not take a PC one to mess with it. So, yeah, I do have a XP system with a Radeon 9000 Pro as well. So, because I am a little could switch over. I have a shuttle here, and I can switch directly to that quite easily. And you can see. Let me do that as a quick comparison. Let's see. I'm going to boot that up and see if I remember which input it is. If we can, sorry for that pop. See if we can make this work. Yeah. One. Sorry, I'm messing with the stuff here now. Stand by. There we go. Hey, it's good old Windows XP. And I don't think I have the mouse configured correctly. Might be that I'm still trying to think about it. Yeah, dual boot. It's just running a different computer altogether. But I think I don't have... Yeah. Stand by. We're doing it live. I'm still alive. Let me tell you, it's loud under there. I think I have to probably reboot the machine for it to find the settings here. I just want to see, because I think I have Doom 3 installed on the sucker. If I don't, we can probably make that happen. I was curious to see, because this is an equivalent, like... Okay, it might be a little newer, but it's got a 9700 Pro in it, so we're in the ballpark as far as, like, GPU performance. And I'm really curious to see when we switch over here now. But yeah, as far as, like, sorry if I didn't mention that specifically. So I have multiple computers hooked up to a KVM here. So what's happening now is that we're actually using the Windows XP machine I have as a shuttle system here. So there we go. Now the keyboard and mouse are working, which is helpful. Let's see if we have Doom 3 on this guy. Yep, we do. So we can take a look and, whoops, not that one. More familiar with Windows XP. Yeah, this is a Windows Media Center edition. That's why it looks a little different. Guess it's been a while since I used XP now. I'm a little... out of it. Device manager. Okay, we have 9700 Pro. I think this is an Athlon. Yeah, XP 2600 plus. So, ballpark era at least. Oh, good news. I have the disc right here. And in there is Star Trek Voyager, when we streamed that a few years ago. Apparently I have not used this computer for a while. So that's where that went. It was fun we do that. I know I'm just doing a big tangent here now from our Mac adventures, but I feel like it's still an appropriate thing to try and see what the expected performance is by comparison. We streamed this years ago for Halloween, I think now. I do love this system a lot because I've had this shuttle done for those unaware. I've had this shuttle since it was new. I bought it brand new, and I still have it, and that's why I kept it along. I did a video on it. I kind of took it apart, cleaned it, refurbished it, kind of put the 9700 Pro in there. Let's see what video options we're at now. System 1024. We have a save game? We do. See what we're doing. Hey, Soldier Strike. Welcome. Yeah, the 9700 Pro was first, and 9800 Pro was just kind of the tweaked version or overpowered version of the same one. So 9700 Pro was definitely like the big splash they made. I remember seeing CarMac out touting and everything, or Doom 3 saying it was made for it. So this was the card that was like launched for the game almost, or not all the way around, but it was like a title being shown off on the card. And we didn't even have an FPS counter. I think we've been here before. Come on. Still loading. Got some, yeah, this is a smidge smoother once it's loaded there. But look at how... Yeah, it still has some choppiness to it, but I think that's more of a loading issue than just the card.
You can just leave your bag there. I'll have it sent up your quarters. Okay, there's a few things we need to take care of first. This is a data assistant.
Yeah, 1024.
You'll need this to access all secure
yeah,
areas.
there's no denying that this is running a lot better than... I mean, yes, with those textures are horrible. I'm not sure who did that there.
I see here that Sergeant Kelly has requested your immediate attention. Head directly to Marine Command.
Something is wrong with the shading and the textures there. Those seem like horribly low. Gotta be something we can change though. I don't think that was, but that should look a lot better.
Mars City is
so we could go to 800 by 600. 600. Gotta restart Doom.
Please smoke only in designated areas. Thank you for your cooperation.
Yeah, there's definitely some simplified shader stuff going on there, but still, we're, you know, getting pretty decent performance compared to the other one. Although it's stuck at 1024 now. Either way, I would expect the 9800 in the Mac. Hop back to that now. Power KVM switching. Load the right preset. There we go. And now we're back to the Mac. That's the wrong mouse. Copy Max Paint. So let's see how that runs. I thought he... Yeah, he did run, Doom 3 on the Voodoo, and it looked fascinating, to say the least. Yeah, I'm really happy with the Belkin Soho KVM, specifically for one point that made it a lot easier in my setup, is that it has audio included. It's VGA, PS2, and audio in the same switcher, and it's powered. All those things together kind of made it the switcher I needed because it has all the stuff into one, so I can hop around very easily like this now. I could even switch the audio to a different system while still using this computer as the viewer or whatever. So it's pretty darn convenient. I'm not using that actually. I'm actually, in this case here, being lazy and is using a regular old Logitech laser mouse. Nothing fancy, but it's not one of the fancy Mac mice. I do have to use one of these freaking fancy Mac keyboard still. So otherwise, all the special keys don't work. Or they do. It's just I got to map it all so that works fine. But I don't have that crazy mouse plugged in right now. Anyway, I don't care for those that much. So, but that's making me wonder because a lot of the unpacking and stuff like that takes a long time. So it might be the disk that's the issue with that SATA drive. Play enough to run fine, but it might be that it's not worth running SATA on this particular system. Just unpacking it here is like 15 minutes. Well, I have a, if we're going to go for another machine, I have a Voodoo, or a Pentium 3, 1 gigahertz with a Voodoo 5 in it here, but I'm not sure how well that will run Half-Life 2. Yeah, that's true. In this case here, I would expect that if it is a heavy CPU utilization, I guess this software may not be multi-CPU aware, but, you know, this is where we have the raw power, potentially, in the machine with the 1.4 gigahertz, but it's still PowerPC as well, which is, you know, megahertz for megahertz, not going to punch in the same weight category, I think. So it just feels like they bet a lot on the PowerPC platform architecture and everything. And you think to how many times, yeah, someone mentioned earlier, right? How many times has Apple switched silicon? You know, you mentioned before, so they started out with the Motorola 68000 processors. They went to the IBM PowerPC processors. And then went to Intel and entered their own. So they hopped around a little bit, to say the least. I do have a hockey puck, but I am refusing to use it. I have no comment on that freaking hockey puck mouse. It should never have been invented. I actually had a friend one time. He's the one that had the G3 with the iMac, and he touted it so much and said it was so, like, good. And I just, like, I looked at him and was like, I can grant that the iMac itself is a really cool system and has a lot of things going for it, but the mouse is horrendous. Like, oh no, it's great. And it's just like that weird, like, claw grip. I'm like, no, it is in fact not great. It is like the worst mouse ever designed. He argued too at great lengths that it was much better to have one button on the mouse than it was to have two. I'm like, no, 2 buttons and a wheel are much better than any other setup that has been defined as like the most normal mouse setup ever. And no. So what we can do, switch back to this guy, and let's see, pedal. While we're doing that, we can actually test, tuning mice here now, we can test Max Payne and see how it runs. It's a weird resolution, 1100. Get to my normal. Thank you very much. We already streamed this game at some point. I don't think it was, it might have been on a different system, but maybe this one. Yeah, resume game, load game. Yeah. Yeah, that's the one we're playing on. 2024 is when we streamed that. Oh my goodness. I don't get it. Go to one of these early levels here. I'm having to like reach over the Mac keyboard now to get to the other one, so. Oh man, that's a bummer. I feel like very lucky because I have then the 9700 Pro in here that works, and I have a 9800 Pro as well that works. Yeah, this runs, of course, from what we can tell here. I remember when this game came out, it looked so... Like, I remember seeing the pictures and stuff like that. It looks like realistic graphics, like crazy. How did they do this? Any drugs in here? Oh, yeah. Ammo.
Wasn't Jake supposed to take care of this? You admit you're having too much fun. Yo!
Oh. Runs great on this kind of system, no problem. Too tired to go on. Ah, same leak. And back to the sky. We're still on stuffing. Still on stuffing. How about them Knicks? Okay. So when you say to have the G4 400 with a 7 SSD, so you're using an adapter for the SATA then, I assume? Because that does not have, this just have ATA, right, built in. Because I have a G4 400 and it has the ATA and everything, so it might be this, yeah, might be the hard drive that's the problem, so. I mean, if the hard drive is sluggish, then that will affect, like, everything. It seems like, I'm not sure why the Mac, well, they decided to have, like, the stuff it or sit archive. Seems like there's a big use for that, or a lot of people are using it. It was used a lot, and it, I don't know. Better, slow, worse? I don't know. It seems like every time I'm using a sit archive, it takes a long time to decompress it, whatever I do around it, so. Let's see. I wonder if there's a software. Remember if I did a Mac bench. I think that's for older machines, right? Hmm. Yeah, probably. I think I have it. Yeah, this is the Suffet Expander official one. Try this, but I'm pretty sure this is not for OS X. Yeah. Kind of knew that, but I just wanted to try it. I think you gotta, like, have X bench or something like that, right? So. This is stuff I installed and got for using on the older Macs, so I'm not surprised I don't have that there. Drivers. They're working on it. Searching for some benchmark software to see. Just curiosity more than anything, because if we could figure out the drive speed issue there potentially, they could unlock or uncork this machine more. And that's the thing when I say I want to do a comparison between the 9800 Pro on Mac and PC, I want to make sure I have everything else accounted for. Because, I mean, if there's a massive bottleneck or like a you know, thing that's bad for that particular machine, I don't want to give it a, you know, not a fair shake. So Geekbench is available apparently. That will drop it on the server. extracting it, dropping it on NAS here. Zip file or compress within compress and compressed. Oh my goodness. I'm compressing it on the real PC so that I can do it a little faster. Still several minutes because there's so much. Goodness. So much stuff in there. Not waiting for that to extract. I'm waiting for progress bars. Like, we get faster and faster computers, and we still give them more to do, more progress bars. It's never ending. Like, I work in IT, and all I do is watch progress bars. And my job is just getting faster computers and faster cloud services, and we just watch progress bars. So that's done. Yeah, I'm not surprised on that one, so all depends on how the game was packaged up, right? So Geekbench 7. Copy that. Yeah, look at this. And we're multitasking using our multi-processor's power, so it is. I think it's fun to look at this and see everything you're doing here. And you go back and look at Amiga OS, and it did all this, a lot of the stuff in the 80s. Like, just amazing when you put it in the perspective of the time that it was. Just launch Geekbench, I guess, so. Did something, hopefully. Or does it crash? Who knows? Max Payne is almost done unstuffing. And then we have to open the actual image file, too. It really was. And it's fun to see that the platform will never die, I think, because it's just, you know, so much support from the community and everything. But when you look back and rewind and see when you're using an Amiga, hopping back to it now, it's like, yeah, there's some stuff that's obtuse, but like the dynamic memory handling, you know, the preemptive multitasking operating system directly in a GUI, all that stuff in the mid-'80s. It was, man, it's pretty impressive stuff, so. I don't think I have, but I can certainly start getting it. That can be arranged. It was not one I thought about getting one of the Myth games, but I did not, so. The Wolf Age. Oh, look, it's a sit compressed one. Let's grab the demo. Like, that's a better choice right now. Nice. So this is the FW800. So this will be the, I think it's listed right down there, but it's a Mirador one, but it's the last one. So the FW800, and someone can correct me, I'm not the Mac expert here, unfortunately. So that is the, I believe, the last like multi-processor G4. There's one that was released after this, I believe, that is a single processor one, the 1.25 gigahertz, but so it is the Mirador chassis, so it looks exactly like a Mirador. The only difference is that it's got FireWire ports on the back. I think there's some minor changes, like it has like a different DVD drive, stuff like that. Minor nips and tucks, but the chassis is identical to the Mirador drive. But it's the FW800 model specifically. So the 1.42 gigahertz is the FW800, my goodness. Yeah, I really wish OS2 had taken off better, I guess, or it's if you go to BCF Midwest, there's usually a guy there that sets up a whole OS2 booth, and it's, you know, it probably had a lot of good things going for it, but you've got to get software support and game support and all that. Like, I probably would like to install it and mess with it again. I haven't messed with OS2 in forever. It might be fun to tinker around with it. I remember seeing the like video ads or TV ads for it. Felt like a ridiculous thing to see back in the day in Sweden, but sure enough, they did. There we go. Just grab the demo like that. I remember BIOS, or BIOS, however you would talk. I remember when it became free and you could just download it. I spent like an entire day on dial-up to download it. I installed it on my machine, and I'm like, cool. And I had to go back to Windows or whatever because you couldn't do anything. From a layman's perspective, I just wanted to play games. There was nothing to do in BIOS. So, yeah, exactly, Solar Strike. You're right, and that's one of the things that's a drawback with this particular machine, in that sense that this is not this is an OS X native type of machine, at least from my perspective, because I got other machines to run the other stuff. So, oh my god, I think we finally extracted Max Payne. And right, yeah, Max Payne. And that's from networking. So keep that in mind. You have this machine is talking to a Buffalo NAS, right? So not necessarily to take the face value on that one, but we should try the freaking Geekbench just launch and oops. Dang it, I'm doing too many things now. Geekbench just kind of crashed. It has a modern reflashed card, SATA card in it, PCI. Geekbench just launches and crashes, so that's a no-go, it seems like. Also, neat idea anyway. There's Max Payne, and he looks interesting. There's the Max Payne installer. Continue. Continue. Agree. Standard install. Install. Games. Choose. There we go. Installing. So we'll see. So yeah, that's a question, is if maybe that is like it works, but there might be a problem there, is what I wonder. Maybe I have something wonky going on, because like in a PC scenario, I'd probably like, you know, go into the BIOS and check like disabling different interrupts and like making sure there's something like that. Yep, we did earlier in the stream, and it ran. But performance was definitely not there. It was not a smooth experience. And speaking of Halo, we could hop to the XP machine again, and could probably see that it runs probably a lot better there. We've streamed on that machine with Halo before, and it ran in a way that probably is not as good as you'd expect, I guess. It definitely ran, but I also saw other people commenting online that you almost need a powerful G5 to run Halo well. So it may just be the Mac port, or just the PowerPC architecture is just not conducive to running that. So, okay, installation complete. Payne, I was right. You have to do it's a no CD thing there somewhere. No CD patch. Bring on the Payne. Select the Max Payne. Patching. And honestly, I think this kind of stuff is just, I like the head scratchers for trying to figure out what the problem is or what's going on. So, unknown renderer, interesting. Customized game, all right. The first time I've seen that, but also this is the first time I tried selecting everything since I installed the, this looks familiar. Installed the older Radeon disk too, so. Yeah, that's the thing too. And I run it on, I mentioned earlier, I ran it on, I have a G4 Sunflower Mac or whatever. I think it has like an MX card in it. And it ran. And it was just like, you just turn everything to low and it ran acceptably. But it was not like a, wow, yeah, I'm going to sit down and play Halo. It was neat that it did run, but that was not much more beyond that. I have to watch the cutscene. Unskippable cutscene.
Standby 1010, investigated reported disturbance at Acer Plaza.
10-4 dispatcher, verify address.
Interesting. I think this is rendered in-game. It's not a playback. Pretty sure this is in engine.
Shots fired on the rooftop. An assault in progress at Acer Plaza. Repeat, an assault in progress.
Yeah. Now, this is 640 by 480, and I would think that if you bought a 9800 Pro, you probably play at a higher resolution, so we can try that later as well. We ran this at 1024 on the
They were all dead.
Athlon.
The final gunshot was an exclamation mark to everything that had led to this point. I released my finger from the trigger, and then it was over.
Forget the guy's name, but he passed away, right?
To make any kind of sense of it, I need to go back through.
Yep. We'll try this quick, and then we might switch it over to use high resolution to see. I'm curious to see how this runs, so.
I was still in the force.
Yep, got it. God, you got to do the intro. Horrible intro.
Michelle, honey, anybody home? I didn't like the way the show started. They'd give me the best seat in the house, front row center.
Look at those graphics.
What the hell?
Oh, I didn't mean to do bullet time. Sorry. Sorry, Payne. Jumped on the carpet there.
Michelle!
Brutal. This is not a you know, PG stream anymore here.
Freeze! NYPD, drop it! No, please, God, no.
Pretty messed up. Ugh.
No, God, no, please, Michelle. Oh, baby.
That's how I became a hard-boiled cop. Still, I gotta have a good backstory, right? So, can I skip this now? No, I cannot. No! Okay. No time. I kind of want to go out and change it out. So yeah, what's happening now is that I'm capturing it at 640 to 480, and it's doing a double scaling to
I came in
to 200%. I can do it at 300, and then I'm using area upscaling within OBS to get to the higher.
I was in for the ride. Next stop, Roscoe Street Station.
Okay.
And Alex.
That might be the problem there then, so I'll have to reload this machine with just a ATA hard drive probably. It might be that this particular machine is not worth using that for. I thought to myself, like, well, the SATA hard drive is going to be faster, right? But I may have just kneecapped myself.
I'd have to look for him.
Okay, let's do... I don't think I can set the resolution. Can I? Nope. So we'll save here. We'll exit the game. Then we'll go to 1024 and see how that looks. But I might speed it up dramatically too if the hard drive is slow down, so. In the settings every time? Yes, it does. Kick it into overdrive. Yeah, that's true. Just use SATA ATA to SATA adapter doohickey thing. Probably the more normal way to do it. I just ended up buying. Someone was selling SATA those adapter cards. So I ended up buying a couple and was like, oh yeah, I'll just throw it in this machine. So I want to see how this runs now because it felt like the performance is better here than we saw in the other games. So let's find out. Oh yeah, heck yeah! This is 1024. This is definitely playable. This feels pretty comparable. So much death.
Death was in the air at Roscoe Street. I'd have to find Alex fast.
Looks so... Just ammo cabinet. I'm in this game pretty far, so... Painkillers, ooh, pills.
Would hold the pain back for a while.
Interactivity.
Wasn't Jake supposed to take care of this? He and Mickey are having too much fun taking care of the cop up there. Well, what's the plan? Pretty simple. Guns and go.
Should not have, I forgot which button was the, bullet time. Well. Works fine. I'm in the, let's see if we can do some... Is there an option here for... sharpness? Yeah, the texture quality is pretty low, but also, I mean, that's more appropriate for the era, but this definitely runs. Whoops. Whee! Favorite in this game is when you do like a really poor like jump that just completely screws you over. Like, yeah, did it. Yeah, that's the thing. But it's their own. A gratuitous slow-mo going on here. Is that a PS2 version of it? I'm kind of curious to try that out at some point. Actually, I think I bought it.
Hey!
Pump action shotgun.
Right. Damn!
Whee! Up all the bullet time. Yeah, this is definitely a, I mean, more than acceptable way to play this game. And this is more of like a side effect of like, you know, this Mac was not built for this purpose, so... Exactly. It doesn't do much. It sounds like, based on what I look it up quick, is that Quake 3 is the only game that really takes advantage of it.
While looking for Alex, I had ended up in the middle of a big-time crime operation.
Working with atmosphere.
Ain't exactly keeping low profile.
Oh.
The gate was locked. I would have to find another way to get to the top.
Locked. It's locked. Remember that? It's a throwback. I thought for Christmas time now, I was looking back and streaming, we'll have to play more Nakatomi Plaza, maybe start it over or something. But for those that weren't here for that stream, it was just ridiculous. The yeah, the amount of like run around in Nakatomi Plaza and just like, it's locked.
Say goodbye.
Oh, it's locked.
You saved me, man.
What's going on here?
A massacre. These armed thugs just appeared from nowhere. We need to get help. I can make the call from the control room 1 floor up. Can you take me there?
Sure, sounds good.
That's
Follow
an
me.
eagle. So James McCaffrey, was that his name? The voiced Max Payne. He plays the director as well in Control and stuff like that, and he passed away pretty recently. Played also, I think, Alex Casey or something like that in Alan Wake.
Home free. This way. Yo! Look out!
Oh. Ooh, there we go. Yep. Munch on some painkillers. It just took like a couple hours to get to the point where we're just, playing a game. But this run's fine. You shoot the... Man, look at that interactivity. I keep wanting to hold shift to run, but in this game you do the dive if you do that, so... That open that? Nope. Alright, well, this run's fine. Too tired to go on. Max Payne is a success there. What else was I copying over? That's right, the to demo. Of course, a archive. Yeah, I imagine if we can get a hard drive swapped over to the real bus there, that's probably going to increase the speed of this machine dramatically, at least from just, your typical file operations and everything. So yeah, as fast as ain't it? Yeah, man. No, that's the thing too, and I mean, when you say Mac exclusive games, I think someone else feel free to step in, but at this point, or any of these like 3D games that you expect like this, I don't think there's any like exclusive games. And I think it's more a matter of like there's a lot of like smaller games, probably tons of the games like that a lot of the stuff was on Mac. But as far as like these big budget multi games, there really aren't none that I'm aware of. Because you look back at like Marathon and stuff like that, that was already past when you get to this level, right? They weren't releasing any new Marathon games at this point, besides ports and whatever to make it work better. That was just kind of past Mac gaming at that point. Besides the ports, I mean, there's plenty of ports again. Like all these games are PC ports, but there are no like unique games for this era of Mac that are like that caliber, I guess. I'm sure there's plenty of like smaller games. To my knowledge, there are none of the big titles that were Mac exclusive at this point. And this was probably the last hurrah for Mac gaming. If you look at like the years and everything through where you can download stuff like that online, it drops off dramatically following this, right? The ports just dry up, and at that point, I think Apple just kind of stepped away from gaming. So, yeah, there's that part too. Yeah, I think that there was definitely games on there, no denying that, but in the same way that the PC, because like you can look and see, like you can scroll through and find like, oh, there's that port, or there's that port, but in 99% of the times, it's going to be a port. Like, you know, Descent 3 is on Mac, PowerPC Macs. It was a port. Like all these games I'm looking at, like Asper shows up often here, because I think they were, as I understand, they were one of the like porting developers, right? And you have the Macsoft and everything too. And it's just, yeah. Ports, which I think is still interesting, fascinating, but it doesn't maybe have the same like, oh wow, this is so unique. And it was not like, you know, having a Mac gave you access to unique gaming experiences, really. At this point, at least. It was more like, which games would you get ported? Because everyone I knew who had a Mac or played on it, they played, you know, the same games we're playing on PC. Like, I know my friend who had a G3, he played Diablo 2 on that a lot. That's all he did on that was Diablo 2, and I was playing the same thing on my PC. So it was like, there's nothing unique about it. So we'll try the Myth 3 demo here quick and see how that runs. And after that, we'll probably call it for this time. But yeah, maybe we should revisit this Mac after I can reload it, or not reload it, but probably just swap this drive over to use the ADA bus instead. So our desktop is a little bit stuff, but at least with the demo, we know. Oh well, let's just right into it. Okay, options, please. We at right now 640 by 480. Fly. 1024. Ooh, that looks nice and sharp. Nice. Play options. Wow, look at that. Change to main. Is this DRS here? On the model details. Wow, that's pretty impressive. Oh, we can do all these things. Oh, where's ATI True Form? Blood Lockout. Oh. I've only ever really played Myth 1. So, forgive me if I... Yeah, weak, please. On the controls here. I'll go right to a game. I'll do the frickin' tutorial for 20 minutes straight.
Connacht shaved his head entirely.
Now, to me, it always feels like Myth in general has always been a good Mac title, right? It feels like... Didn't Myth first come to the Mac, the first one? Huh. Alright, Ravens. Take it easy and get some rest. I'm gonna go to bed soon myself, so... but yeah, might revisit it again. Yeah, it is interesting with the Metal API, which is the same thing that S3 used, right? And we've streamed on that before with the S4, S3 Savage 4 using the Metal API.
The world fears you. During marching drills.
Okay, got it. I just want to see how the rendering works here now, but yeah, there we go. Was it? I could have sworn it was like touted as like kind of like a Mac-ish, maybe just because it was Bungie, but it's got that like dithering thing going on. But yo, this is plenty smooth. Got it. Let's get him. Get him, boys. Probably get some spells and stuff. We're just gonna walk slowly towards them. Oh, geez, fireball coming. All right. Hopefully no one else gets hit. Oh, blammo. Yes. But it feels to me like it, I'm not sure if it comes across a little bit on the stream, hopefully, but it's like this weird dithering pattern. It feels like a lot of the Macs had that sort of, that, I don't want to call it rendering artifact, but it's just like how they rendered. All right, Eric, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next time. Yeah, I'm sure we can. That is more strategy than what I'm doing. I'm just walking slowly, menacingly. Get him, boys. No, I don't think so. This particular dithering thing I've seen before, too. In this case here, the only thing that's going through is a VGA splitter that is... I mean, that's the exact same one I ran with the other computer as well, so... This pattern in particular, I think it's just with the rendering. I've seen this sort of thing with the Rage renderer version on the older Mac, so... Yeah, it's got some nice polish to it. But I feel like Myth has always been a good set of titles, right? So... Yeah, it could be. Can I do... I don't have any options in here. Got it. They move at a semi-realistic speed. Not super exciting, but... Got an enemy there. Get him, boys. We have not. That one I've streamed in the past, too. I found that game difficult. Yes. I'm just not very good at it. Oh no, they have the high ground. Yeah, it's not... I'm not playing this very well. I just want to see how it runs. And it's 1024, it runs great. I don't have to use much strategy here. I'm just gonna... I think there's probably friendly fire and... Fireball! Oh, yeah. Oh, jeez, yeah. Fireball makes take a lot of damage. I haven't tried Oni on this one. I can't remember what we played that originally. I played it way... I mean, it's been several years now, right? We streamed that. But I think that was on a PC. I like the concept of that game. I'm just terrible at it. Dying. My friend who played on the G3 with his Diablo 2, he played Oni on his as well. And he was just master at the moves. He would just do the kind of the spin and neck snap thing. It was so brutal, but she just runs up, spins around, snaps, runs to the next guy, runs around, spin, snap. Because he figured out that was the most efficient move to do. So he just kept doing it on every single enemy. And he would just obliterate everything. I'm like, wow. I think what made me not be drawn to the Myth series as a general, I played the demos and stuff back in the day, but I preferred the base building. I like my RTS's classic, as it were. And these games have more of the, like, here's your units, and you use strategy to play through it and everything, but you don't build anything. And I always felt those were not as fun as the base building and turtling and all that stuff. That's what I enjoy with RTSs. Yeah, it runs fine, of course. I think that fixing the disk speed issue would help a lot, but I also don't think that would fix things like how Doom 3 ran or Halo ran. But Halo seems like a unique case, like it just runs terrible to begin with, so we'll use strategy on this here instead of just getting annihilated. Slowly walking into our deaths. Fine. Get him! I know we're supposed to use proper strategy and everything, but yeah, I'm just... Whoops, blew up. Yeah. Relax with the fireballs. We have more deaths from the fireballs than anything else. There he is. He's like at the edge of the map. Oh, he's getting a firebolt. I like the little jump in the... Yeah. I'm curious. Can we save this? Exit, and we'll do some more settings to see what options we have. Quit. 32 bits. We'll go like all out here now. All right, Solar. Thanks for stopping by again. I hope to see you next time we stream. So I got everything on. We're gonna crank it. Crank it. Max it. Insane. Bought a 9800 Pro. I'm gonna use it. See if there's any difference in the dithering and or the aliasing there or the transparency on those trees. That could just be a render. Yeah. Now it's much smoother. Yeah, there we go. 32-bit color took care of that dithering thing we saw there. But the trees look the same. But this runs 1024 cranked. This is probably where I would expect, but it's also slow-moving game. The terrain is pretty basic, right? There's not a lot of polygons to render. Might change when there's a lot of units on the screen and everything. So, yeah, I will say probably no stream next week. We'll be out of town, so unfortunately. But well, that runs just fine, even at the cranked settings. Even though that's a rendering problem, might be that you know, that was fixed in the launch game or release game or something, or there's a patch for it. But it works. Yeah, I'm really curious to see if there's any way to eke out more performance, because in some games now we've seen it run just fine, right? Even to be expected performance, like here, and Max Payne ran great, honestly. But a lot of our games did not. Doom 3, perhaps, maybe the main one, which again, that feels like a showcase title for that video card in general. So, can I not exit this? There we go. Have to crash, I guess. That's a lot of stuff here now. Crash it. Crash it. Crash it. Eject. Yeah, I'll see if I can figure out the issue with the drive. But as far as like the performance in general, I'm curious if there's anything to do. I mean, I think that it handles the dual CPU automatically and everything, so I don't think there's anything that can be configured. But I'm curious to see. Again, it would be nice to find a video with someone else playing some of these games on a similar machine to see what the performance is. And we know that Halo might be the outlier in the sense that that is a game that just does not run well on any of these kind of machines. But I don't know, worth checking into anyway. But fun to mess with nonetheless. So I appreciate everyone hanging out. I'm going to call it here, I think. It's getting a little late here, too, in the Midwest. Thanks, everyone, for stopping by. Like I said, probably no stream next week. I'll be out of town, but then hoping to stream again the next week after that. Shooting for Tuesdays in general. I hope everyone had a good time messing around with the Mac. The mixed results. But that's part of retro, isn't it? So, all right, everyone have a good evening, a good week, and I will see everyone when I get back in like 2 weeks. So, have a good one, and good night.